So we were on addiction. When we last left off, we were on the morning blessings, the Birkot HaShachar, and we were examining the simple meaning and also the more spiritual, you could say, meaning behind the blessings. And we were on the blessing of Matir Asurim, that we are thanking Hashem that He releases the bound. Simple aspect of that blessing would mean the act of just raising your back out of bed, which is something to really be grateful for. Go to a hospital and see people in their hospital beds, how hard it is for them to use their bag. And on a spiritual level, what is asurim, right? We put on our spiritual spectacles and we say, well, a person who is bound, someone who's not able to move and do what he wants to do because he's bound. So what is that in the spiritual realm? Addiction. Whatever addictions we might have, everyone struggles with their own things, right? We're all human, which means we all have certain aspects of our personality where there's things we want to do, but we can't do them because of whatever spiritual addiction's holding us back. Some people, the addiction is drugs. Some people, the addiction is lack of confidence, right? Lack of confidence can also be an addiction. Oh, I feel bad about myself. I'm nothing. That keeps a person from doing what he can really accomplish in this world. So you're right, it's not the colloquial meaning of addiction, but it has that same, when we're translating it as that which prevents me from being the person I want to become. We said Zokef Kufufim. Gentlemen, we are now on 2021. Thank you, Hashem, that you spread out the earth upon the waters. Rokah haaretz al hamayim. What's going on with this blessing? I thought we were thanking Hashem for like bodily functions, and bam! All of a sudden, we're thanking Him for this natural phenomenon. I've asked some big rabbis, I said, Rabbi, what's going on? You're like, why are we thanking Hashem for this? You know, like, there's a lot of cool, great things I could thank Hashem for. Thank you, Hashem, for creating the sun. Thank you, Hashem, for... Why specifically are we thanking Hashem that He spreads the earth out on the waters, right smack dab in the middle of me, contemplating how great it is to have all my physical faculties working?
Doesn't it say in the beginning of Chumash originally that it was just water covering all of land? It was just exclusively water? So
Yes. And then God was yikvu, right? That Hashem made a... really it was two steps. He moved the water above, and then the water that was below, He moved it to the side so that the dry land could come up. Right? That was an aspect of creation. Yes.
It came to do with, every second God created, or every morning or something, God creates the world again.
Oh, so if Hashem is recreating the world at every moment, yeah, keep going, Rabbi Akiva. What do you want to say?
I mean, that's what I have to say about it. You fill in the blanks.
Oh, yeah, make me do the hard work. You guys hear my question? Does everyone hear my question? You hear my question? You're thanking Hashem for all these personal things, and then bam, all of a sudden you say, you spread out the earth over the waters. It's like, it fits? It fits, gentlemen?
It fits for me. I'm not a strong swimmer. I like having land.
So he says it as a joke, but he's actually onto something.
I like having land.
You see, if we're going in colloquial, if we're going in step by step in the faculties that return to me throughout the day, from the moment I wake up, right? That my knowledge, eyesight, clothing, that I lift myself out of bed, and then I get out of bed, right? What's the next step? Is that I hit the ground. I'm thanking Hashem that you spread out earth over the water, that there's a place for me to lift my feet up.
But that wasn't necessarily, needed. He could have just made us something that did not need to be on land.
He could have made us something that doesn't need to, have eyes. Could have done a whole bunch of things.
Yeah, but
we're not in the business of God could have created the world in a different way.
I'm just saying, it wouldn't take away from anything that we already can do if we were something like that lived in the water. We'd still be able to do all the same thing,
So what do you want to say?
I don't think we would. A lot of the materials wouldn't do well underwater. See, destroy film? No.
I mean, listen, you both are alluding to good points here, even though there's like a little bit of joking going on. But meaning, let me just try to understand, Matt, what are you saying here? Hashem spreads out the earth. We're thanking. He didn't have to do that. Well, I don't understand. He didn't have to do any of this.
Right, but
The whole point is. Let me just stop you for that because I think I might have just copped it. Hashem didn't have to do any of these things, right? He did them. He did them. And they're great. And he's shown us that he doesn't have to do them. And we're thanking him that he has chosen to do these things as opposed to not doing. Because the fact that there's blind people allows me to appreciate that I have sight, right? And so I think it goes with this as well. The fact that it was originally water, you're saying, well, it didn't have to be. Okay, but it was. I'm saying that the fact is that the earth was water, and I think to myself, wow, it doesn't have to be that you put dry land down, and he did, and it's very nice.
Right, but what I was saying is like, sight to the blind, that helps us in the way of being able to follow mitzvahs. Clothing the naked makes us, gives us humility, so we can, do our mitzvahs. Releasing the bound, it takes away the things that would prevent us from doing mitzvahs.
You're already going into the spiritual realm right now. That's what you're doing. Yeah?
And then we've got spreads out the earth upon the water. I don't see how that connects to something that allows us to...
I'll tell you, I also, the spiritual aspect of this blessing, kind of like more the underbelly of this blessing, I have a hard time understanding. Like, what is it? I have to know, what does it mean to have the earth? What does it mean, the water? What do these things represent? But on the basic level, gentlemen, that's the blessing. Let's not spend too much time on it. But on the basic meaning, we are saying to Hashem, Hashem, the earth was originally water. What would life be like if that were to happen? And you spread out earth onto the water and allow me to put my feet down, and even the fact that like we live in a world today where we have like nice tiles, and we don't have to stand up on like soggy dirt grounds. Like that used to be that you didn't have tiles. You had soggy dirt grounds, right? And it's a big thing to be thankful for. Good. Next, Hashem, thank you. You have provided me for my every need. Now, once again, you have my question: what is this doing here? If we're going through part and parcel each and every little thing that's occurring for me, why am I thanking Hashem now for like every... It's a beautiful blessing. But if my thesis is right, that we're thanking Hashem step by step for the things that are being returned to us after sleep, so what is this? You provided me for my every need.
First off, if you don't have any of these things, it could be an acknowledgement of you have exactly what you need to do, Also, it's a common practice to thank someone for something individually and to thank them for the whole entire thing together.
Oh, not bad. The simple answer, gentlemen, is that this is actually bracha on shoes. What? This is a blessing on shoes. Oh, what is the correlation between shoes and providing me with my every need? Anyone? So the answer, you guys might not like the answer, it might be, but basically the answer that I've heard is that the shoes allow a person to be able to go out and do anything he needs to do, right? Without shoes, you're pretty handicapped in this world, and so we're thinking.
Friend used to walk everywhere on barefoot. Used to just walk on cement, broken glass stuff. Wouldn't care, just walk barefoot.
Could you do that?
I know.
I could, or I have.
Yeah?
I mean, if I needed to, I guess I could.
Anyways, gentlemen, the main aspect, the main answer is that this bracha is specific for shoes. This bracha is specific for shoes. Why this is the wording? I think, Akiva, your question is better than the answer I give. I think you have a good question. I don't know exactly how this relates so much to shoes. Like why is this the lashon specifically for shoes? The best answer I've seen is what I told you, but Rabbi Akiva doesn't love it. Okay, that's okay. So Rabbi Akiva, you also think of a good one from a spiritual aspect. Besides, if we go a little bit past shoes, I personally think this is one of the most beautiful brachas that a person can ever say ever. Nah. And this bracha has gotten me through some really hard times. Why? Why does this bracha have within it the power to make everybody really happy?
Because you have everything you need to get through the situation.
Yes. Gentlemen, Matt, you hear the beauty, Matt? Matt's enjoying the Jewish delicacies, kosher. Matt, you hear the question?
I hear the question.
What's the answer? Rabbi Akiva said the point of this bracha is that we can meditate on, I have everything I need in order to. I have everything I need in this world in order to do my job, right? Let's just take a step back. Remember, the first thing we already talked about, and I think every Jew, it's a reason why a Jew should almost never be sad. right? We can be sad. Don't get me wrong. Don't say Yossi sad. I can never be sad. People have their sad times, but a Jew, it's almost if he really contemplates these blessings, he really shouldn't ever be sad if he's really thinking about them. Because remember, like we said, the first blessing we're saying, when we're taking Hashem, when we say Modeh Ani, Elokai Nitzor, we talk about the neshama, that we're thanking Hashem, like Rabbi Akiva said, you have given me a purpose on earth, right? That some of the main sources of sadness, some of the main sources of depression in this world come from people who do not have a purpose. They do not know what their purpose is on earth. And that causes a lot of strife and it causes a lot of sadness because they don't know, what am I supposed to be doing today? Right? A Jew is so far from that, and it's so clear to a Jew, I have a purpose given from the creator of the universe nonetheless. That alone has enough to just blast the Jew, and it should be the happiest heights there could be, just to say, I have a purpose. There's something I'm put here to do, right? But nonetheless, a person could say, I have a purpose. There's something I'm supposed to be doing. I don't have the tools though, Hashem. I don't have the right things to be doing my purpose, right? You get a lot of people, they know what they're supposed to be doing, whether it be in their work, with their families, and they don't. I don't have the money. I don't have, Hashem, I really thought you wanted me to become an incredible writer. And you know what happened? I got into a car accident and I lost both my hands. And now I can't write. So you see, there's two parts. There's one, there's knowledge of purpose. And there's another aspect of, but even though I know my purpose, there's a sadness that can come that I don't have the tools to do what I thought was my purpose. So, you know you have a purpose. We thank Hashem for our purpose. We thank Hashem for the soul. What are we saying though when we say you've given me everything I need? What negative thought are we pushing out of our heads? So Rabbi Akiva said it already, but I'm just putting it with a little bit more of a background. That, you thought your purpose was that Hashem wanted you to become this phenomenal writer, and you got into this car accident and you broke your hands, whatever. It should never happen to anybody ever. Say amen. Amen. But the point that a Jew says, and I would never, whoever has ever been into any hard scenarios, I'm not gonna say that they shouldn't be sad. It's not, but a Jew can think to himself that, then that's not my purpose. There's something else that I'm supposed to be doing in this world that does not involve my hands, or did not involve what I thought was involved, right? That at every moment a Jew knows I have exactly what I need to serve my purpose in this world. And that, if you have both those, can't nobody hold you down. Right? Does everyone agree to that? If you really internalize that A, I have a purpose, and B, I have everything I need to do my purpose, no one will ever knock you. Who can knock you? Who can knock you? Even death. You know? Person threatens a Jew with death. You know, a Jew can say, my purpose does not involve me being alive anymore. You can die valiantly. Many Jews throughout the generations have died. Rabbi Akiva, he went to his death, Shema on his lips, proudly proclaiming that Hashem is one, and just like, you know who Rabbi Akiva was? Step one, like we said, we're thanking Hashem specifically, and this is a specific blessing on shoes. And don't get me wrong, shoes are also something to be very thankful for. But I was just saying also, if for whatever reason you can't feel such gratitude to Hashem that He gave you shoes, either walk around a little bit barefoot, right? And B, also think about, like I said, that you've given me everything I need to fulfill my purpose on earth right now. That you have exactly what you need. Good. Next blessing. Hashem hamechin mitzari gaver. He prepares the footsteps of man. He allows us to walk, right? Simple meaning.
He does.
Simple meaning. He gives us the ability to walk, right? Imagine being handicapped. Imagine being not able to walk, right? Spiritually, this blessing I've struggled with. Exactly what does it mean? That you prepare the footsteps of man. Hakol bidei shemayim chutz miyirei shemayim. That everything is in the hands of heaven except for yirei shemayim, except for the awe of heaven, except for the decision that you have to do what's godly over what's not godly. Right? That we say that basically Hashem basically chooses every aspect of your life, and it's really up to you to decide in every scenario, am I going to make the godly decision or not? Am I going to make the decision that God would approve of right now, or the decision that God would not approve of right now? That's what's in my hands. So maybe that he prepares our footsteps, as in almost like he really takes care of every aspect, like he kind of like almost like guides me where I'm going, I don't know. Next, Ozer Yisrael bigvura, that you, God, gird Israel with strength. These next two blessings, gentlemen, girds Israel with strength and crowns Israel with splendor. These are blessings specifically for who?
The people of Israel.
The Jewish people, right? That now we're going into a specific aspect of Judaism, things that he's done specifically for the Jewish people. That he girds Israel with strength and he crowns Israel with splendor. Girding Israel with strength. Okay, so first off, Akiva's onto something. There's specific mitzvahs that we have. One mitzvah, girding Israel with strength, basic level, that a Jew has a mitzvah actually, in prayer and Torah learning, to wear a belt, to make it that there is a separation between his heart and his lower extremities.
You said that's only when it was like a robe you were wearing, and not so much now you wear pants and shorts.
Well, why now that we wear pants is it less of an issue? Because we naturally have, we naturally have, and even if you don't have a belt, you have underwear, you have something that creates a separation. Creates a separation. So like we said a week ago, right? We're thanking, the basic aspect is we're thanking Hashem for that basic mitzvah. You gird us with strength. You give us the mitzvah of separation between heart and lower extremities. The meaning behind that a person has to think about. But like I said, just right. That when we're in prayer and Torah, right? That we have to make that separation, right? We have to make separation between our intellect and our desires. But also, what I was going to say is, you see also, gentlemen, just once again, I can't stress this enough, the beauty that a Jew thanks Hashem for the responsibilities that God has given him. Because that is our essence, that is our splendor, that is the beauty of being a Jew, that God has entrusted me with stuff. And I'm very happy about that. Not like the rest of the world that says, I would rather not have anything expected of me ever, I would rather just chill out. Right? We say, no, I want to be as close to God as possible. I want to be as much like God as possible. And that can only come by the mitzvahs. So every mitzvah, Hashem, I'm thanking you for. I'm very thankful for every. Why specifically this mitzvah here? Because this is the time where you put on your belt. See? Fits very well. This is the time, right? I'm putting on the belt. Okay. A little bit deeper. I thought about this a little bit deeper. Tell me what you guys think. Girds Israel with strength. That girding, the aspect of girding is like the aspect of, I think, like self-control. Right? To gird something is to strap it down, right? That it's in your control. So I thought maybe to gird Israel with strength is that the mitzvahs are what kind of like give us a higher ability for self-control. That a Jew, via doing the mitzvahs, is going to naturally have more self-control, because naturally every aspect of his life is under, if it's under the scope of halacha. And I always used to tell myself, like, at least, for a lot of people, they always want like reasons behind mitzvahs. They always want reasoning. And like I always try to tell people, listen, at the end of the day, if Hashem prescribes it, that's great. That's really all the reason a person should need, right? But I always say every mitzvah, no matter, and the harder it is, the more, is that it's inculcating inside of a person's self-control. That he's more in control of the animalistic urges inside of himself, right? That a Jew naturally who keeps kashrus, he's not just going to go around eat, it's like a non-Jew. Anytime a delicious plate of food comes in front of him, bam, no, what do you have to talk about? What's it? Eat, right? And the truth is, a lot of Jews are like that also. You just put yourself in a kosher environment. But the whole point is that you see a Jew is natural that a plate of food comes in front of a Jew, and before the body has a chance to act, because he's inculcated inside himself mitzvahs. So he says, wait a second, whoa, yeah, this looks nice, but where'd it come from? Meat and milk, is the meat kosher? Is the this, is the that, right? And you just see, it's like the Jew is above, the mitzvahs cause the Jew to be above the animal. We all have these animals inside of us, and via the mitzvahs, I'm not saying this is the reason for the mitzvahs, this is just one of the things that happens from the mitzvah, that every aspect of your life, you are above the animalistic urges. and to the degree that a person is exacting in his mitzvahs, is the degree of self-control he's inculcating inside of himself, right? Whether it be with food, whether it be with sexuality, right? The rules of sexuality, that a Jew can be above the urges that really ruin society. You know what I'm saying? Like, if there's anything that has ruined society more, it's the debasement of sexuality that has undertaken the free sex world that we have been living in for the past 50 years, right? That a Jew has hopefully, I mean, listen, we all fall to our urges time to time, but that's really, the Jews have always been at a very high level of self-control in that aspect, and that's what's kept our society so well groomed, you know? So that's just something maybe to keep in mind when you're thanking Hashem. One, the mitzvah that you make me have a separation between my heart and my lower extremities. Also to thank you Hashem for your mitzvahs, that they gird us with strength. They give us the self-control to get through this world with flying colors. You know, because.
Yeah, but you can't specifically say that the first one is talking about the mitzvah of tefillin, and that the second one's talking about the shel yad of the tefillin, and the second one's talking about the rosh of the tefillin, because like crown of splendor, like
right.
That wasn't that the whole thing. Like God's crowns is wearing tefillin, and the whole reason why we wear it on our arms is to show that we're going to do His mitzvah with strength, whatever. And you say girding is kind of like strapping.
Oh, you're right. Very good. Yeah. So. No, meaning your problem is it could mean one of the two things, either a belt or the arm tefillin. What I was saying to the aspect
I don't have a problem with what you said. I just think also on a different level.
Oh, you're just saying another idea. Yeah, also nice. Yeah, that it could be the arm tefillin, the girding Israel strength. Very nice. And the final one, that you oter Yisrael b'sifara, right? That you crown Israel with glory. Rabbi Akiva said the one idea is the head tefillin. Another idea is just the head covering, right? The head covering makes a little bit more sense in the structure of the blessings. You agree, Akiva? No, because you don't just put on your head at this point in your day. You're not just like throwing on your head tefillin. You're right. No, you're right. If the arm tefillin, you're right. If the arm tefillin is Ozer Yisrael B'Gvura and the head, it could be that. But a lot of people claim this to be that you're thanking Hashem, that He's commanded us to cover our heads, right? What is the kippah? What's some of the ideas behind the yarmulke?
Yeah, but hang on. Isn't that not like an actual, like that was just the minhag?
What's that?
Putting on a kippah.
Oh,
it's a minhag. If it's just a minhag, what's it doing here is one of the.
That's a good point. It's always been a Jewish minhag to wear the kippah.
Yeah, back then, they always used to wear some sort of head covering.
Uh-huh.
And when they started seeing that people stopped wearing head covering, they said we have to make.
Right. The exact halachic history of Jewish head coverings, I'm not 100% sure of. I'm really not. The way that I understand it, it was always a good thing to wear kippah. As in, you're right. It might not have always been a obligation, right? It might not have always been an obligation. But our sources tell us, right? You read the Gemaras, right? That they say that it's a righteous thing to do, to cover your head, to have your head always covered, right? So you could Rabbi Akiva could be onto something, and it might, maybe you're right, maybe it's not talking about kippah, but let's just take a second just to understand kippah for 2 seconds, right? Yarmulke, call me yarmulke. You know what yarmulke, yira malka, the fear of the king, right? That a kippah essentially represents that a person's fear of God, a person's awe, a person's humbleness before God. Now, if you think about it, what's one thing got to do with the other? What does me covering my head have to do? How is that a representation of my humbleness before God?
Separation.
What do you mean?
Remind you, someone's always above you.
Okay. A separation? What's the separation?
If you're under the list, like he said, this is between us, and as a reminder that we can feel that He's there.
Right. Very good. Interesting. I'll tell you, that was the kippah. Actually, we're coming up to Hanukkah, and that was one of the main differences between Jewish thought and Greek thought. That the Greeks understood anything that my mind can comprehend, that's real, and if there's things that my mind can't comprehend or understand, it's not real, right? And the Jew was also very we're also very intellectual people, and we're also very much into analyzing and trying to understand to the best degree what we can understand. But when there's something that the creator of the universe tells us to do, a mitzvah that we don't understand, we don't say it's not real. We say it is real, and I don't understand it. That his das, his knowledge is above mine, right? So you see, with the non-Jewish, or at least specifically the Greek way of thought, was that no kippah. If it's above me, it's not real. But a Jew says no. There's a separation between me and that which is above me, and there's certain things that this brain can't comprehend. There's certain things above this specific head, this specific intellect, right? That's one of the ideas of most Jewish minhagim. Most Jewish minhagim, we have a concept in Jewish minhagim that we say, im ein anu nevim, b'nei nevim hem. If we're not prophets, we're the sons of prophets. So it means if there's a minhag that we do that we don't always understand, it's coming from a holy place. As in, if our great-great-grandparents decided to do something, we assume that they knew what they were doing. They weren't just like, hey, the bagels and lox. Let's just all start eating bagels. And I'm saying that because that's what everyone thinks is like the Jewish minhag, where it's like there's no, it's not. I'm not saying anything against bagels and lox. So, yeah, that's one of the ideas, is that if there's a certain Jewish custom that's made it through the ages, that, yeah, there's a certain knowledge that if it's made it this far, it's good. Now, don't get me wrong. There are certain minhagim that rabbis would come around and say, this is what's called, let's say, a minhag shtus, a minhag that's like a garbage minhag. But I think as of today, I don't know if maybe the red string, I've never, I see people wearing these red strings, and I'm like, I don't think that's real. I don't know any rabbi who would say, yeah, that's a Jew. No, doesn't seem to be correct. But if I might be wrong. Don't. Maybe it is. Okay, now the last bracha before we make this final bracha. There's another short bracha, and then there's a final longer bracha, and that's called the morning blessings. The final bracha, Hashem, thank you, who gives strength to the weary. Who gives strength to the weary. Now, like we said, if we're basing ourselves off of our premise that we're going step by step, things being thankful for, once again, this doesn't seem to fit, right? Like, why at this point in my Jewish morning am I saying, Hashem, you give strength to the weary?
You just acknowledge that there's something above your head, and you're supposed to live your whole entire rest, or you're supposed to go upon the rest of the day. And you have to use strength to overcome your desire. It's basically like a send-off. Like, be good.
This is a send-off. You give strength to the weary. A send-off bracha? What do you say? Everyone hears the problem? You hear the problem that we're dealing with? Shlomo, you hear?
What level do you want to answer on first?
Always simple. Always simple, we start. We start with simple.
How about the simplest one there is? You wake up in the morning, the first thing most people are feeling is, I kind of want to go back to bed. But he's giving us the strength to not go back
So
to bed.
Akiva asked the kash on him. So put it at the first bracha. Think listen, I don't think my theory is wrong. But if my theory is wrong, so you're fine. And you can put it wherever. But I'm saying no, that there's a step-by-step to these blessings. No, I thought that there was. It seems to be until now that they're going step by step of my actions. So what's happening with Hanoisen Layav Koach? That you give strength to the weary. I basically have my clothes on. I'm ready to go out. So Rabbi Akiva already saying like we're going towards like a. I don't know. Do Sfardim say this? Do Sfardim say Hanoisen Layav Koach? Hanoten Layav Koach. Sfardim say it. Sfardim say it. Any ideas? I'll tell you. I heard something. I think it was from Rabbi Schwab. He has a really tremendous book on prayer, and he does leave the simple meaning, and he says something like what you're saying, that Hanoten Lav Koch, he gives the Jew strength in the exile. That when a Jew goes out there, we're in exile now, and life is not as great as it could be. I'll tell you, life is phenomenal, being a Jew living today, but we're still in exile. So I think Rabbi Schwab says that Hanoten Lav Koch is going on that, just that Hashem in this exile, this long exile, the Jewish people have been in this spiritual desolation we've been in for 2,000 years. That you give us strength. You give us strength to really achieve what our potential is in this world. I don't know. Otherwise, I don't know, because I don't know why I don't know what it's doing here. Okay, gentlemen, this is the last bracha of the thankings that we do, gentlemen. And if you see, look, that's it, right? From pages 14 to 20, not so many blessings throughout the day for the morning, you know? Really, if a person wants to do it quick, it could be, I don't know, 3 minutes, 4 minutes. If a person really wants to meditate, really wants to contemplate these ideas, 10 minutes, 8 minutes. And like I said, it will create a drastic change. So let's look at this bracha, because this is a beautiful, beautiful blessing. So we say, blessed are you, Hashem, our God, King of the universe, who removes sleep from my eyes and slumber from my eyelids. May it be your will, Hashem, our God, and the God of our forefathers. Right? You see, we're already leaving. This is not so much a bracha of thanks, but even more of a question, of a request. God, may it be your will, Hashem, God, and the God of our forefathers, that you accustom us to study your Torah and attach us to your commandments. Right? I'll give you this. This actually fits very well what you're saying now. It's like, now that I have all my physical stuff restored and I've thought about it and I'm ready to go out and do my thing, this seems to be like a nice sending off request from God. Okay, God, I'm ready to go out there. Here we go. Hashem, help us, accustom us to study your Torah and attach us to your commandments. Let us have a good day of achieving our purpose. Do not bring us into the power of error, nor into the power of transgression and sin, nor into the power of challenge, nor into the power of transgression, nor into the power of challenge, nor into the power of scorn. Let not the evil inclination dominate us. So these are let's just meditate on these, gentlemen, just quickly. Let's think about these a little bit. That a Jew has a mitzvah to wash his face in the morning. That before you go to pray, that you should wash your face, right, as an honor to Hashem. Wash your face, wash your mouth. Some would call that brushing your teeth, right? But as a way to prepare yourself that you're going to greet the King of Kings, right? So like, why did I say that's one of those mitzvahs people really like? Because hopefully you guys do that already, But just to have in mind, you're doing a mitzvah. You're doing a mitzvah. Hopefully you're preparing yourself to go pray even a little bit, even if you're just putting tefillin on, even if you're just saying the Shema. Hopefully you're davening chakras, but even if you're just doing that, just that I'm preparing myself to go greet my Creator. So I know, maybe we're thanking Hashem that via the washing of the face we get that stuff out of my eyes. May it be your will that you accustom us to study your Torah and attach us to your commandments. Accustom us to study your Torah and attach to your commandments. But wait a second, didn't we just say, gentlemen, Hakol b'dei Shemaim chutz mi'yirah Shemaim, that everything is in the hands of heaven except for the fear of heaven? That no, it's up to me to learn. It's up to me to do mitzvahs and to choose to learn and to do mitzvahs. So why am I asking Hashem for help? Hashem can help me with money, He can help me with health, but the degree that I learn and that I grow in mitzvahs, that's up to me. So why am I asking Hashem for any help with all these things? Right? You see, don't bring us into the power of transgression and sin or challenge, right? Any ideas? Why am I asking Hashem for help with these things? I thought these things are in my control. The truth is, gentlemen, there's another Memra Chazal that I left out, and I pulled the wool over your eyes. There's another Memra Chazal. I'm not sure exactly what the lush is in Hebrew. Habalatar, someone who comes to purify himself. Siyatu, that Hashem helps. So on one side we say that.
The other way too, though.
What's that?
There's one that comes to do good, God helps him do good. But one that comes to do bad, God will help him do bad also.
We say, this was actually a very popular song. Mitzvah goreret mitzvah. Avera goreret avera. That a mitzvah leads to another mitzvah, and a sin leads to another sin. Now, psychologically, that makes sense. Meaning even if you take God out of the picture, we should never take God out of the picture, but just hypothetically speaking, if I do a mitzvah, right? Judaism is very much into the idea that the actions that you're doing now are a sign for what you will be doing in the future, right? Who you are now will be who you are in 5 minutes, in 10 minutes, in 50 minutes, right? That if you want to make a change, you do now, right? And via you doing a positive action, that psychologically preps you to do another positive action. Same with a sin. Person who does one sin, he'll do another one, right? And this is the best example I have for this. It's like, you guys ever say to yourself, like I said, I always use food examples. I don't mean to offend anyone. It's just for me, that's like always the first analogies that come into my head are with food. You ever say, I'm full, I'm done, I'm not eating anymore? And then you have like one chocolate chip cookie more. And then all of a sudden you have like 9 more. Ever happen to you guys? Why does that happen? Meaning, once you had one more, and now all of a sudden you're like 10 in, and you're just like, well, how did that happen?
No, I know how it happened.
No, but the point is, I'm sharing with you guys the Yates are.
When you go in for one, you gotta be honest with yourself. You know you're not just going in for one. You're going in for 10. You just need to take the first bite to send you over.
Akiva's explaining it Lafi Pshat. I'm gonna go a little bit deeper and explain to you guys a very important tool of the Yetzer Hara. Why does it work like this? That's how the world works. I don't know exactly. But the Yetzer Hara has a tendency that when we do something wrong, he tells us, you're a failure, so you might as well give up. That's called a tool of the Yetzer Hara. If you ever hear Yetzer Hara telling you that, run away. I guess, right? Just run as far away from the ability to be able to continue to sin as you can, because he's lying to you, right? We have a low self-esteem. Basically, he's getting in on our low self-esteem. That when we do a sin, he says, you thought you were so great. You see, you're not great. So who cares? Now you can do whatever you want. What do you expect to be? You're not going to be the person who you expected to be. You might as well stop now. Now, is that true? Does that make logical sense? No, it shouldn't make it. It makes no logical sense. Why? Because you did. Why is it that you tripped up a little bit that now you're nothing? Any sports player who thinks like that, any profession, that's what separates the men from the boys in professional sports. If a basketball player misses a layup or he misses a shot and he says, it's over, I stink.
If it was an open shot, he deserves to get fired from the team.
You should get benched for a week. But no.
Gentlemen, I know, I see why you guys are not managers of any teams, okay? Is that true what you're saying? No?
A wide open layup?
Okay, fine, not a wide open layup. Fine, not a wide open layup. Okay, most of us are not falling because of wide open layups, you know? Where we fail in our own relationship with Hashem, where we fail, it's usually not missing wide open layups. Usually it's like there's a crossover that we sometimes do, sometimes don't. Sometimes we get the crossover right, sometimes we actually mess it up and we get the ball stolen from us. Okay, whatever. So that's more the realm of where we're falling, right? So a guy who's what's that?
Stop trying to do crossovers then.
What? What do you mean half the time he gets them right and he crosses the guy over and he gets a wide open layup and he scores?
But is half really enough?
No, the goal is that you get better at it. The goal is that you get, gentlemen, if we're in I make the world of analogies so this is easier to understand. How are you guys making this harder? It's obvious, it's clear as day.
Then let's take a step back from analogies. So let's say, it's Shabbos, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, something happens, you're up late Shabbos night, Friday night, you're up till 1, you go to bed, and then, not even thinking because you're half asleep, you flip the light on, and I already turned it on, might as well turn it off, and then, you've already broken Shabbos twice then, and it's just...
Very good analogy. What did you want to come out with that? What was your point?
Once you've already broken it in that two spots, you're like, I've already broken it for the day.
No, you didn't.
Right, I'm saying, when we think like that, that is like a professional basketball player who has this move that he sometimes does well, sometimes doesn't, and he thinks he can perfect it, and he doesn't do it one time, and he doesn't score. And he says, you know what, it's over, it's all over, right? I'm telling you, gentlemen, that is not a professional, no professional would do that. And thank God, God does not expect us to be professional basketball players, but he hopes that we can be professional Jews, And when we fall in a certain category that we sometimes fall in, so it's the Yetzer Hara to tell us.
Just because you break a fast doesn't mean that you should continue on fasting. However, it's considered as if you broke the fast, even if you did something that you needed to, like let's say a pregnant woman has to eat small amounts throughout the period of the day.
Okay.
So it's considered as if she broke the fast. I mean,
Are you defending the Yetzer Hara right now?
Yeah, a little bit. I'm just saying, it seems somewhat justified what he's saying sometimes. It's as if it's unaccomplishable.
He's got you under his wraps.
Hey, but sometimes
let him go. What's that?
Sometimes things you just can't accomplish.
Okay.
Well, if I'm already not fasting, if it's considered as if I didn't fast for the day, then why should I continue going through hardship?
If you basically you ate on the fast, you're saying now I should eat
Yeah,
more.
and Shabbos also kind of very similar in the same way. And Shabbos kares v'galili, right? For breaking Shabbos, you break Shabbos once, kares. I mean, I don't know, so it's not exactly that simple, but okay, so that's spiritually getting cut off. So you did lose.
Well,
So why does this seem like? Why does this not a good tactic?
well, why do any mitzvahs after that?
Right.
No, I'm thinking he means give up on it forever. He means give up on it for that time, and the next time you try better. But like, yeah, that time you've already lost it, is what he's saying.
Because I don't think that's how. I'm sorry. I don't think that is. I don't think, and I'm almost sure to say that I know that that's not how Hashem works. That's not how Hashem works.
Like, you're in a basketball game. It's 80-2, and you got 30 seconds left. You really gonna try and make 78 shots?
Once again, that is not that. I hear your analogy, but I don't think that that's the analogy we're working with. I'm not working with that level of analogy. I'm working with things that are within our free will, our normal day-to-day struggles that we sometimes win and sometimes lose. There are certain struggles that we have that we always lose to. Okay, that's not in our, that hasn't entered our level to overcome that yet. But I think, like, even, and especially with your Shabbos example, no, doing one malacha is different than doing 5 malachas. It's worse to do 5 malachas than to do 1 malacha. If it wasn't, then the halacha even goes by that. As in the halacha is that a person who does a certain amount of malachas has to bring a certain amount of sacrifices for the malachas that he did. If he only did 1, he would only bring 1 sacrifice. So you see that it's not true that oh, now it's like I'm in I failed and it's not like that in the halacha and in the hashkafa, in the Jewish philosophy or whatever, it's for sure not right. It's for sure not right that a Jew should never think like that I lost and now I've lost, right? Because like we said, if you want to get into psychology, the more that a person trains himself to lose, the more of a loser he's going to be, right? The more a person just says, my Yetzer Hara has got me, I'm done. So he'll come out of that, but to the degree that he let his Yetzer just slap him around for however long, that got inculcated in him. Meaning Judaism doesn't believe so much the whole thing of like diet starts Monday. You know, you guys ever seen that Chris Farley? Diet starts Monday, right? When he's eating those French fries at the restaurant. That we don't that we say no. That like all those days that you wait, whether it be your spiritual diet, whatever diet, that those are becoming a part of you. If you pig out, that pigging out becomes a part of you. Whether it be in food, whether it be in spirituality, whether it be in sexuality, whatever it might be. So the point is, gentlemen, we were just getting psychologically into what happens when we do mitzvahs and sin. That we do mitzvah, and we become more of a mitzvah man. We do a sin, we become more of a sin man, right? And the Yetzer Hara tries to...
Simple man.
What's that?
More of a simple man.
But the Yetzer Hara will try to convince us all that once we've done one thing wrong, that we should continue to do wrong. And I'm telling you, gentlemen, from a professional perspective, with your children, you'll see your children doing things like this, and you'll be like, "Come on, bro, or son, daughter, don't think like that. Don't think like that. Just because you drop this one thing, not everything is lost. You know, you'll see that this is a character trait of children, that they do one little thing wrong and they get really emotional about it because they think all is lost. I mean, if that's not a good enough proof for you that it's not the correct way to be thinking, so." I don't know what is. Hopefully we don't want to be children.
No, life was simpler when I was a kid.
Right. Okay, so the whole point, gentlemen, we'll end here. We'll maybe examine this more tomorrow, but you see that we're asking Hashem to help us become the people He wants us to become. And if we try, He helps us. That's the key. That even though we say that it's in my control, the amount of awe of heaven that I have, the amount of striving I do in mitzvahs and Torah. No, it's not true. Hashem helps. Hashem will help. If I put the effort in, Hashem will help. And you see that we're asking Him to help us. Tune in tomorrow when we'll get into the question of, here we say, don't bring us into challenge. But wait a second. Isn't this world about overcoming challenges?
Sounds like a cop-out.
Right. If the whole world is about overcoming challenges, why are we coming to ask Hashem? Don't bring me into the power of challenge.